One of my favorite Disney movies growing up was Disney's Aladdin. It's a movie I can appreciate and enjoy today as much as I did when it first came out. It's a fantastic mix of adventure, comedy, and romance that is sort of a staple in movie storytelling today, but none quite hit it as well as this one did. Not only that, they decided to continue on with a TV show that ran from 1994 through 1995 for about 86 episodes, which included 2 direct-to-video sequels. And while it wasn't the end-all be-all action-adventure show, it was a lot of fun. New additions broadened the world of Aladdin, expanding it to new heights, bringing new myths and magical dangers to life while developing more to the characters we knew and loved.
Okay, that's enough talking about the series. After all, I am a video game reviewer. Such things as talking about cartoons is so beyond me.
Anyway, during its release, there have been several games dedicated to capturing that same sort of adventure the movies gave off. Capcom released a fantastic exclusive Super Nintendo title in its usual fashion, while Disney Interactive helmed a completely different adventure on the Genesis. This was certainly a show of the times, as Nintendo and Sega were often duking it out competitively, and it was natural that people picked their favorites. I had the pleasure of being able to play both of them growing up, as I loved the wacky animation and sword-swiping action of the Genesis version, while I also enjoyed the acrobatic platforming and jewel collecting challenges of the Super Nintendo version. I would consider these games to be huge successes, as they've both been ported several times on the Nintendo, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance. Oh yeah, and there was also some Aladdin game for the Game Gear and Sega Master System that started off as some auto-scroll, then kind of devolved into a Sleepy Slow Prince of Persia sort of thing. I don't know, whatever.
So about 5 years later, a new video game in the series came out. Aladdin in Nasira's Revenge. Now you may be asking yourself, who in the hell is Nasira?
That's so cute that you would ask her.
Is she one of those TV show characters like Abismal, Mirage, I Am a Ghoul, Dijon? Hell, I'll even take the blandly designed Mosenrath. No, this is a villain clearly made just for the game, with no real redeeming characteristics or backstory, other than the fact that she's Jafar's crazy sister! I'm not kidding! And hey, that reference is relevant because Nasira's voiced by Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel the Little Mermaid, cause Ursula also has a sister and she's crazy and stole her voice.
And so I may be asking myself, why in the world am I talking about a game that, on its face, already looks like it's going to break my skull open on the first stage?
And now that you've introduced me to a game that's completely ruined my perception of reality and took a dump on one of my favorite movies of all time, I think it's about time I request that you review a game based on one of your favorite Disney movies.
Oh really? What is it?
That was good.
Yes! I'm just following continuity from the last video I made!
Wake up! Come on, Al, get up!
Oh, we're off to a good start. Look at these cutscenes. I mean, I don't expect a whole lot when it comes to an early PlayStation title, but at least make the mouths move a little bit, man. I can only take so much when I hear Dan Castellaneta's voice talking while Genie just casually mimes with his outstretched arms every couple seconds with that same stupid JPEG grin on his face!
This has gotta be some kind of mistake.
Though I am pleasantly surprised, Disney is pretty good with keeping their voice cast consistent when they can.
Oh, Nasira, my sister.
Okay, follow me here. Apparently, Nasira, Jafar's sister, is attempting to bring him back from the dead, which bothers me. If they've actually followed any continuity, Jafar was destroyed with the lamp in the second movie. This game happened 5 years after the fact. I guess if they destroyed his lamp, he's just kind of waiting or something in the dark.
I've been waiting in this dreadful place far too long.
Anywho, so Jasmine and the Sultan are kidnapped, and Nasira assumes control over the palace, yada yada. Meanwhile, Wait, hold on. Aladdin's still poor?
Aladdin, boyfriend to the princess.
Boyfriend? Oh, come on now, they're married! Hello? Nasira, have you not seen the third movie? So what? Did Aladdin just, like, give up on the sweet life and decide, forget Jasmine, I love living in my urine-soaked apartment. Oh no. So anyway, the genie practically tutorializes you throughout the entire first stage. I get why these are here, because kids aren't going to read all this boring instruction manual stuff. We gotta tell them how to do it. I mean, I personally always loved Robin Williams' voice, and while I still don't mind Dan Castellaneta's genie, the annoying tutorials mixed with the Robin Williams impression is kind of, well...
Me, Genie, you well.
Then again, I take that 100 times over.
That! Why do there always have to be that?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, this is your average 3D platformer. You run about, jump about, slash about. It's rather basic. And with most early PS1 titles, your camera movement is fairly limited, and most of the time, it will get in your way.
Oh dear. Okay. While I do have a DualShock analog controller, can you just imagine playing this with only the directional pad? I can get used to a lot of awkward camera movements and controls, but with this, you're kind of forced to take your time with everything you do.
If you are forced to use the directional pad, you're limited to one speed, unless you switch out of your sword mode and go into sneak speed, which is only useful to steal apples from some vendor guy. Why not? Aladdin's poor again. He can't just be like, hey man, I'm the princess's f***ing boyfriend, you dig? Now give me some apples unless you'd like your little shop here to be reported to the health inspector. I have that power, you know. Give me some f***ing bread, too!
Think of stealing my apples.
Come back when you're a little, richer.
Apples and the like are used as projectiles, and you can imagine how janky those kind of controls are as well. You start to toss things and you notice they're not necessarily going in the direction you're facing. They just kind of veer off to the side. Ow. You gotta work on that pass, bro. I know I'm only at the first couple stages, but man, they are just dragging on. You get tossed into this really awkward quest by people around you. It's almost like they're just giving you busy work to make the game even longer than it has to be. If it wasn't for the fact that the platforming alone takes immense patience.
I'm sorry. I guess once having lost all my lives, I appear to be stuck in some sort of darkened limbo, reminiscing over the moments I could have spent going outside, spending time with my lady, or playing some other game that... Okay, alright. Focus.
At the end of every stage, you're allowed to view your status of collectibles and enemies slain, begging the question, are these important? Do I need to collect a lot of these things? It kind of brings me back to the original Super Nintendo Aladdin. Those red gems were pretty challenging to collect, but it wasn't like you actually needed them at the end of each stage. Hell, genie coins and gems just take you to some bonus stages where you have to collect even more things like blue genie gems. You know how bonus stages are usually something to look forward to? Well, when you're constantly listening to the same annoying song over and over, you just want to get it over with! Come on! Come on, end! Another free try? What? There's no point to it! It's just there to prolong this stupid bonus game! It holds no actual purpose! Yeah! And then there are these other bonus stages that are set at random. One time I'm bouncing on clouds, then I'm on some sort of water slide attempting 360 spins, and in another, I'm as Princess Jasmine, freaking skateboarding!
Hope you land safely, Jasmine!
Just to collect a bunch of coins. And seriously, these coins. Throughout my playthrough, I've only found one use for these coins, and it was to buy an item so I could continue through a certain portion of the stage. It's not like there's some actual shop for items or anything. It's just useful when you need it. I mean, good God! Sometimes I catch myself just collecting them for the sheer mentality that I might need them. But I have to keep reminding myself that no, I don't need them. Hell yeah, I'm gonna stay poor and forget my girlfriend Look, at this point, Jasmine's just an acquaintance, alright? Jiminy Christmas. I mean, just listen to how pointless these quests can be. This guy, I guess his flute was stolen, right? Well, just a little bit across from him, I talked to some kid who wants these damn birds off these lines, and then he just gives me the flute. This little so-and-so is a thief, and I just deal with it. You made me kill birds for a flute that you just happen to have that is the exact same description as the guy who had one stolen from him. Where's the toss the kid over the ledge button?
Oh dear, I've gone and lost my magic charming flute. No problem.
No problem what? He didn't tell you to do anything.
My mother can't hang her washing out with all those birds on the line.
No problem.
Forget it. And this is all just so I can hop over onto another ledge via a carpet he controls with his flute. Didn't Aladdin have the only flying carpet in Agrabah? Now everyone has one. I guess he sold them off after spilling his beer all over it. I gotta keep it but one jump ahead of the bread. What? Is that a dog barking? Where's that coming from? Is that seriously coming from behind this door? Really? What the hell are the brooms from Fantasia doing here? No, we are not doing that. Ugh, every stage I go through is just as boring as the next. Yeah, you gotta have Agrabah, the palace, but the dungeon? You go back to the Cave of Wonders. Really? Come on, this can't be right. Yes, actually they are. They're practically following the Super Nintendo and Genesis games almost verbatim. I mean, look at this. Agrabah, the dungeon, the oasis, there's even an Egyptian pyramid. That was in the Capcom game, man. I mean, it's a tad rearranged, but there really are no new places. Just expand a little. Look, they're even using artwork that was used for the Super Nintendo cover.
I don't expect a lot of variation, but come on, take for example the areas that were in the TV show. I mean, well, I can't show you because that would be showing clips, and sometimes I wonder why I do this at all.
A lot of content just seems so wasted. There's a moment at the beginning of the Oasis stage where I get bit by a cobra, and I actually do start to panic as everything starts getting all warped and slow. Yet only 2 feet away, I immediately find the antidote. Crisis averted! And this is the only time this ever happens. One would think that the developers were like,
Now, Benson, I've a grand idea. Yes, Reginald, do go on. When Aladdin gets bit by a snake, he is poisoned, in which he must find an antidote. Do go on. Before it's too late. By Jove, that's brilliant. Program that in is once. Any other ideas? No, that's quite it. Quite.
In some of the later stages, you'll play as a Boo who can only double jump off walls and find crap you have to collect. And even later you play as Jasmine, who shimmies about in a jar, jumping on pillows. Huh? It's not like you're in stealth mode, you're just playing the game normally, except she's in a vase. Vase. How come you never play as the genie? He'd be kind of fun, right? Maybe a little overpowered, but hell, if I had to play as Iago, I'd choke myself. My god, the Cave of Wonders stage is the bane of my existence. Oh, by all means, use those huge piles of money as platforms.
I touched nothing but the lamp. Just kidding. Touch anything you want.
These jumps are impossible. It expects you to have some of the most patient and precise platforming skills I've ever seen in a 3D game. Now, I'm sure this kind of platforming was average around this era, but the areas get so dark you lose a lot of depth perception. Not to mention the camera's annoying and hard to turn, especially you have to turn while jumping. One jump ahead of the... Oh, come on. One jump ahead of the... Damn it! One jump ahead of the... I just can't get through this cave! I'm being drained of lives and continues just attempting jumps! It's a viable case against the whole lives are pointless argument. Sometimes in games, when you fall off a cliff, you lose some of your health and return to the nearest ledge. But with this, you just go back to the checkpoint! With this kind of precise jumping, it's more punishment than it is a challenge!
I can't keep going on. This game is physically hurting me. and I need to earn it back! I have to destroy it! No, this isn't how I do things. But it's such a bad game! It's just a game. Based on one of my favorite animated movies of all time! There's always a positive to even the worst things. There must be a positive somewhere. Is there? Okay. I gotta keep positive. I can get through this. There has to be a silver lining once I defeat this game.
Game over. Goodbye, Aladdin.
Oh well, at least I tried.
I can't even. So let's just Game Shark this up. Once you finally defeat the big giant head of Jafar, it's just kind of vaguely ends. You don't honestly know or hear what happens to Jafar or his sister, it just kinda goes back to normal.
Hey, Aladdin, you've just defeated Nasira and Jafar. What are you gonna do next? Go into Disneyland.
Once again, Agrabah is safe because of you.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go back to my apartment. Screw the high life. See you in a week, princess. As far as I'm aware, getting a certain amount of blue genie gems gets you a special ending screen for when completing a game. I don't know what it looks like, and I can honestly say it's not worth the extra effort to find out what it is. But hey, when you game over, you get to see the ooh so voluptuous Nasira. Yeah, the design kind of reminds me of Yzma from Emperor's New Groove if you shaved off a couple thousand years.
This game, while it's not the most poorly made game I've ever played, it's honestly not worth the trouble.
When it comes to games like these, I can't help but think that perhaps they were attempting in some way to bring back the glory of those older games. These quickly produced cash-in games are a dime a dozen, but you think back to those really simple yet very well held together games of the past, you can't help but feel that they were at least trying to get that sort of simplicity back in the newer generation gaming. Not every classic game based on a movie or TV show was a success. I mean, if anything, that was a very rare occurrence, that's for certain, and I suppose it is really hard to please audiences the more technology progresses. It's hard to capture the same feel and appeal that most games of the nostalgic generation produced, especially with a game based on a cartoon. And I guess that's the shame of it. Games like this have been given titles of the like a bad reputation that people kind of already know what they're getting into. And that kind of goes the same for the developers. If you don't have that passion or at least attempt to make things work, games like this are going to keep making those cliches, sadly continuing to disappoint and give off bad vibes towards people who, honestly, maybe would want to play a game based on a movie or cartoon again.
So all in all, if you want a good experience out of an Aladdin game, play the Super Nintendo and Genesis versions. You won't be disappointed. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to cleanse my palate. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not bad, not bad. Let's, I don't know. What is this? Where are all my good games? Where are my good games? I don't understand. You had good games. No!
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please check out my other videos. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. And take a look at my Patreon to find out how to further help support my channel. Just remember that the more views and subscribers, the more I can continue making videos. Thanks again, and see you next time.